Hello, welcome back to another episode of The Road Truth. Today it's Marvel vs. DC. As always, I am your host, BX Bad Boy, with my host, friend, and brother.
What's going on, people out there in the land? It's Equality back here to enjoy the viewing pleasure and the talking pleasure with y'all.
And today we're going to be talking about Batman and Marvel's equivalent. Stay tuned. So today it's Batman versus the equivalent and our opinions on potential equivalents and the equivalent that we found together to Batman in Marvel.
Yes.
So I'm going to share my screen and I'm going to start with, hold up, got to hit the button. So this is Batman, obviously. His parents were murdered. Everybody knows the story, and if they don't know the story, then they'll have to read the book. I'm not a storyteller. So I originally was looking it up, and what I found was really disturbing, at least to me anyway. Where's the story? So I was reading whatever this is. I can't read that word. I'm illiterate. Well, this person here believed that the closest representation of Batman in Marvel was Nighthawk. Now, except for the funny looking costume being similar to Batman's costume, I think he's more suited for Nightwing, minus the killing of his girlfriend accidentally. They have the same similar outfit. They rose the same way, but the best equivalent to Batman, I originally said was Moon Knight, which most people that even read the comics would agree if you didn't think of another one.
Right.
So I know who Thrasher is. I've seen him, and he was in the comic series on TV as well as the book. So when I was reminded about this after we did some research, the Night Thrasher, I'll have to agree, his storyline and even his outfit is a better representation of a similar Batman.
Well, I wouldn't say so much of the outfit, but if you take a look at certain things like
Well,
he went and created his own equipment,
well,
his own
this right here is
uniform.
this right here is the Night Thrasher.
Yes.
Okay, the only difference between Batman's outfit and his, in truth, is ears and a cape.
All right.
If you now, obviously, it's got its own design, but he's got a full suit, arms, neck, legs, head, and he's got a mask over his face. Now, Batman has a suit just like this, but it has a mask over the whole face.
Mm-hmm.
He's not using it for the same reason that the Thrasher is, but the only thing really missing is a cape and ears. But he's a Thrasher, not an animal. I know that sounds like a contradiction, since someone who thrashes things is like an animal, but an actual species of animal. Batman used the species of bat to make up his outfit. This guy used the species of Thrasher.
There is no species to Thrasher. Okay.
No shit. But it's,
Horrible.
what could he use as an inspiration? Thrashing. So the species Thrasher. So I believe that we found a better equivalent than Nighthawk by far with Moon Knight, but we found a better equivalent than Moon Knight with the Night Thrasher. I mean, their storylines are almost identical. Dwayne Taylor grew up believing his rich parents were gunned down by criminals. After that, you might as well close the book and call it good night. Just the storyline alone. He was part of multiple teams, from what it says here, the New Warriors, And when they wanted to go down a path he didn't want to, he broke off. Same thing with the Justice League.
Well, remember, right? Remember again that the reason that we're doing this to begin with is to see. This all started with the Squadron Supreme being the knockoff for the Justice League, right?
Correct.
So
Created by
now,
the Grand Master.
hmm so now when you start looking at these characters,
Individual characters, yeah.
and yeah, on an individual basis, you do the research and you start to see that these characters really aren't doppelgangers or knockoffs of other ones. They're really not.
They have, well, at least with the Nighthawk, there is no similarity to Batman whatsoever, not even a knockoff of him. But with the other ones, like the Wizard,
hmm
he does have a severe similarity to the Flash. It even states here, he gave James Saunders a chemical formula that granted him super speed. At that point, the rest is irrelevant because that's how the Flash got his superpowers. The only difference is Flash didn't drink his. He wore it.
hmm
So that's a super similarity. Where is it? It also talks about Wonder Woman's doppelganger looking thing.
Yeah, Power Girl.
Let's see. Shows up in the gift. He gave the Wizard, the Nighthawk, and where is it? It says the Grandmaster drafted the recent turned superhuman Kyle and called him Nighthawk. He gave the power Prism to Dr. Kinji, who became Dr. Spectrum. To round out his team, Grandmaster created superhuman Hyperion from nothing. That matches Superman. Where's the Wonder Woman one? Grandmaster. There was one. I can't remember. I can't see it. Maybe I'm blind. I am old. Oh, I know why. Because she was part of the first one.
hmm
There's two teams.
Yes.
It's the same team, but just different name. Where's the first part? Well, because the first team is Sinister, and that one is supposed to have the female that is the equivalent to Wonder Woman. I was just reading this shit. You know, I'm missing it somewhere. Modeled after 4 members of the Squadron. Okay, that's why he was going to start there. Durf. Durf for Durf. Because the Squadron Supreme is where you got to start. Because the Sinister came afterwards.
Yes.
Alright. Where the hell is that? I had it. Oh, I think it starts here. No, it don't. I'm a doofus. Alright, so we're just going to go here. Where the heck is there? It is. Don't mind me, I'm illiterate. So I cut and paste. Okay. Alright, characters. Okay, of course it's not there.
Hmm.
You shit swizzler. You would think it would be first on the list since that's what I put there. That's the other reason why I do this, where I take the words verbatim, so they can't sit there and say, "Oh, you spelled something wrong." See, it goes to Doctor Strange. Oh, okay, that's probably why. Let's click on groups. Here we go. I don't know if this is the right one, but we'll see when it says it. Now this is Scarlet Witch, Hawkeye. Some years later, Avengers. I don't want to talk about the Avengers. Really? You shit monkeys. And it's got to be on this page because I read it. I know I read it. Now I'm angry. Like I'm seeing shit. I don't need my eyes checked yet. But let's see if she's here.
Hyperion Power into Dr. Spectrum, Amphibian was the Stonian Sky Master and Nighthawk.
Because I remember reading it when I went to here, to Sinister. It talked about the equivalent to... It didn't say the equivalent because they're not going to say that on Marvel. We'll go here because I know this Dingleberry put it in. And I call him a Dingleberry because he chose Nighthawk as an equivalent to Batman. He needs psychiatric help. Here we go. Dale calls God Wonder Woman, Power Princess. She's the equivalent to Wonder Woman.
Yeah, I know.
Now, those make sense. Oh, except, well, I don't know much about Dr. Spectrum, but they're comparing him to Green Lantern. But Hyperion fits for Superman, Power Princess fits for Wonder Woman, and the Flash fits for Wizard. Let me see if I can see Dr. Spectrum.
Okay, I can see why they're saying he's along the lines of the ring he uses.
Well, I'm going to type it in now so our audience can see as well. Okay, that's not helpful. That's Hank Pym. That's not who I asked for. Dr. Doom. Again, not who I asked for. Didn't ask for that neither. Didn't ask for none of that neither. What the hell's the point in typing shit in if they're going to go, hey, we don't care? This is one of the things that I can't stand, and I want it on record. I cannot stand about Marvel Comics.
It's Hank Pym. Why are we looking at Hank Pym?
Exactly. Now you all see it says Dr. Spectrum. Enter. Stage left. And the first person that pops up is Hank Pym and the fucking Hulk. AKA Bruce Banner. No.
That's strange.
This is why I don't, and it's set for character. You all see it. It's got the underline for character. So why is it not pulling it up? Because they're dicks. And even when you click on all, it takes you to Spectrum Marvel 101. What the fuck? And first is Doctor Strange. Nobody said Strange. It says Dr. Spectrum. So these people are douches. Don't have this problem with DC. Again, I clicked on group. He doesn't even show up on the group.
Excuse me.
Bless you. This is, like I said, this is why I can't stand Marvel Comics website. Because they're idiots. Because I literally type in your name, it should show me equality, not elephant, escalator, El Mundo. I should not see nothing but you. But with these fart sniffers, it goes right to whatever the hell it wants, with no sense of reality. Now, I understand these are comics, so nobody be picky on the fact is comics aren't reality. I'm not referring to that part.
Mm-hmm.
I'm referring to the actual fact of looking shit up. Really? That's meant that many Venoms? That's a little strange. Look at it. You got this Venom, Eddie Brock.
Mm-hmm.
This Venom, McDonald. Really? Really?
Mm-hmm.
Had to name the character McDonald's. Jackass. And this Eddie Brock. Oh, okay. This is Eddie Brock Jr. I apologize. Should have read the whole thing. Okay, I can see how they got three. But what the hell is this thing? Venom.
Oh, wow. Okay.
What is this, a stuttering Venom? This silly horse monkey. Alright. You would think it would show up so easy with me just typing the damn word doctor.
Damn.
That's not helping. I'm going to just type in doctor, see what happens. Because now I want to see what... That's how I spelled... Yeah, it is how you spell doctor. And I'm going to be pissed off if the reason why they didn't show Dr. Spectrum is because I didn't spell the word doctor out completely. Doctor Strange, Doctor Stupid. Look, it's not even here. These are all the doctors in Marvel. At least on the Marvel website. When you type in doctor, she's not a fucking doctor. My depression's gonna set in. Okay. Let's see if he's even on the list. Check it twice. Find who's been naughty or nice. Hyperion, Power Princess. See, it says Dr. Spectrum. But when you type in Dr. Spectrum on the fucking website, it's like, I don't know what you talk about. Can you say that again in English? You shit kicker.
Well, they made Power Girl definitely somewhat similar to Wonder Woman.
Well, this is Spectrum right here. Or Dr. Specky.
Yeah, I know.
Dr. Speckler. Okay. Alright, I'll give it to him. He looks like a hopped up version of Green Lantern, but he doesn't use a ring. And that's
He's
not...
got these jewels in his hand.
Yeah, don't get me wrong, that's not the end of the world. It's still the equivalent. Equivalent just means, for the record, equal to, not exact. He uses a ring as the Green Lantern, and he uses a power gauntlet, so to speak, as Dr. Spectrum. There's no sweat there. Okay. So, what say you, Mr.
As far as
in your opinion, the equivalent to Batman?
I would say it's Thrasher.
Okay.
Night Thrasher. And the reason I say it was Night Thrasher is because not only does the story somewhat, well, look, it's true. We all know that a lot of the billionaire stories that are in Marvel have been derived from Batman. We know that. So this one is no different. You know what I'm saying?
True.
But the thing for me that makes it so similar is because of him building his own gadgets, suits, being a hacker. These are some of the things that Batman has done. Now, we're not calling the Night Thrasher the world's greatest detective because we know he's not that. But he is the only one, within my opinion, that I see mimics or is would be equivalent to Batman in that sense, as far as the martial artist, as far as the creating his own weapons, being a hacker, things of that nature. That mirrors, that more mirrors Batman than Moon Knight. Than,
I don't like that smirk you gave with the whole Moon Knight.
well, I mean, him and I mean, not to say that. All right, look,
Not my Moon Knight. All right, that's my
because
boy.
don't get me wrong, Moon Knight is that dude. He's that dude, and there are similarities between him and Batman. Batman chose bats to scare his people, to scare criminals. Moon White chose night so the criminals could see him coming. Like, you know.
All right, I'll give you this. Like I was saying, there's dramatic similarities to Batman and Moon Knight. One, their outfit is very similar, except Batman has his face uncovered. But same thing with Night Thrasher. His face is covered like Moon Knight's. Moon Knight is rich, just like Batman. He made his own gadgets, just like Batman. He has I don't know if it's called a moonerang, but I'll call it that because it's the shape of a fucking moon. And Batman created his own batarangs, including the name. His own Batwing. And the Moon Knight has the exact same ship. And I say ship.
Moon.
Yeah. The only difference is Moon Knight's is a ship, not an aircraft. Because Moon Knight's ship is a world that flies. I can only give the equivalent to, what was that big moon shit that the Joker was trying to fly in the cartoon? Do you remember the moon ship that he stole?
I remember it.
That's the equivalent to Moon Knight's ship.
Yeah, it's
that damn big. They both fight crime for different reasons, but they both fight crime. They're both sociopaths in a degree. Now, Batman won't cross that sociopath of murdering line.
But Moon Knight will.
But Moon Knight will.
And Moon Knight has.
Oh, yes.
And has no problem doing it at all.
No, he doesn't.
That's where the similarities end.
In that sociopath factor, yeah. But Batman enjoys torturing the villain. He enjoys breaking every bone in their body. He put the Joker in a cast for 6 months on purpose and took pleasure in it, and actually, in the cartoon series, threatened to do it again.
Okay, but did he kill anybody?
No.
All right. Like I said, that's where the similarities end.
Exactly.
Moon Knight was killing dudes.
But that's a very thin line between life and death.
Dude.
Everything else leading up to right before the death is all the same.
Bro, it don't matter. Batman had a code. You understand what I'm saying?
Yes.
Batman,
moral conduct he will not break.
Yeah, he would not break. None of that ever registered in Moon Knight's head.
No, not at all. The Moon Knight is what would happen to Batman if he was the Punisher. Because Moon Knight is the perfect combination of Batman and the Punisher in one person.
But like I say, when you look at the Night Thrasher again,
he has more similarities.
Way more. And I don't want to mess up with what I'm saying, so give me one moment.
But like I was saying, the mere factor, the beginning of their storylines, is all you need to really say they are their equivalent. He believes his family was killed by criminals. He goes on a vengeance tour and vows to stop all criminals, including the ones that killed his family.
Mm-hmm.
I bet you if I didn't tell you who I was talking about, you would have an argument with me on who I was talking about, and you would automatically assume I was Batman.
But see, now it says here, right?
And they're both rich. They both build their own gadgets.
Right.
I,
So here we go. Look,
I don't know if they have their own spaceships though.
no, no,
Batman
but
has his
look,
ships.
he possesses excellent hand-to-hand fighting ability and is trained in various martial arts. Batman.
Sounds more like Wonder Woman. Of course, it sounds
Let's
like
see.
Batman.
Right. He's also an excellent acrobat, a talented designer of battle suits, small armaments, and a good computer hacker.
It actually sounds like the love child of Nightwing and Batman. Because the Acrobat is more Nightwing and the original Dick Grayson, which
He's
are the
got
same people. But Batman is acrobatic.
he's got gadgets and gizmos, stuff all stuck up in his suit, the batons that he uses. He's got a fiberglass skateboard that also can be used as a shield.
Okay, that's where the similarity ends. Batman doesn't do skateboards.
Dude, please stop it. Yes, he does. Don't even tell that lie. Don't even tell that lie. Come on, man. We could take Batman all the way back to the 1966 series where him and the Joker was surfing in the water and the man had bat
Yeah, I
shark
know.
repellent. So don't tell me he ain't had no bat skateboard. I don't want
I
to.
know, I'll make it fun. Cause you can't, cause they'll never recreate Batman on a skateboard again. That's like
If he
putting
would look,
tutu
listen
on
to me.
Batman.
Listen to me. If he was on a surfboard, he got to skate.
I mean, it's basically the same thing except for the wheels.
Wait.
There's
He had the
more.
bat. He had the Batmobile, right?
Dumbass
He had the
name.
bat plane, the bat copter, the bat cycle,
It's not even. We don't have all night for you to list all his bat things.
the
Try,
bat,
I,
the bat rocket skates. Come on, stop playing.
are you
He
kidding
had
me?
all that.
He had the bat battleship. He had the bat battle cruiser. He had the bat submarine. He had bat gas.
So if he can have all that, then he can have a skateboard too.
You just skipped over what I just said. He had bat gas. Okay?
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yes.
The
It's
gas
time for you
he
to go to bed.
the gas he threw was called bat gas.
It's time for you to go to bed. Sit back at. Oh, okay.
See, the fact that I said it, you're like, wait a minute, what's he talking? No, that's not as funny as you think it is, Dave. Yeah, it is because it had you fucked in the head. You're like, wait a minute. Yeah, you just told me funny. You need to go lay down. Wait, that's right. His gas was called bat gas, and bats have gas. Dirt. Okay.
Yo, not to get off subject,
I know how to throw grenades, even if
But-
they are bat gas.
but if the DC universe ever happens to watch this podcast, I have a rhetorical question for you.
Do you give him Millennium MD for that bat gas?
Why did everything have to be called bat?
No. The Robin cycle was not called the bat cycle.
We're not talking about Robin. You be quiet over there, okay?
Literally everything he possessed is bat.
And I
Batwing,
wanna
the batarang, the bat shoes, the bat shoelaces, the bat gas, the
Wait.
bat butt.
wait. I bet you in the wintertime this dude had on bat thermals. Stop playing.
He had bat undies. And I bet you it had the Joker. His bat
Mr.
underwear.
Wayne, Mr. Wayne, how do you start off your breakfast? Every day I start off my breakfast with bat cereal. Come
Oh, I
on,
think
stop.
you're going to go there. Batios.
That'll work too.
I start my breakfast, but part of your complete breakfast, Batios. Along with my bat shake. High in
I've
protein.
I've even got bat milk for you.
Bat
It's just-
crazy.
It's just.
You know what? I'm
You know
surprised no one started picking on Batman, being that bats are the cause of COVID virus, the SARS virus. No one's picked on poor Batman. We can't have any more Batman. He's going to infect us all.
You know what? It's crazy because You know, all these years up until now, Marvel and DC are still having this battle.
A stupid battle.
Meanwhile, there's other comics that are just really creating original characters. Dark Horse, Dark Horse Comics has created some great original characters. Image Comics have come up with some great original heroes. Um, there's another one that I can't bring it up to head right now. Dark Horse, Image. There's more.
But you know how it goes. Mainstream stuff, the one that promotes their stuff the most is the one that get recognized the most.
Mm-hmm.
And as iconic as Batman is, that's what DC's known best for.
Yeah.
And as iconic as I don't know. I'll have to say Spider-Man. As iconic as Spider-Man is, that's what Marvel's best known for. That's not what Sony's best known for, though. Sony need to get hit in the head with a hammer.
Okay, here's the one. Here's the ones that I know.
I don't think they made a good Spider-Man ever. Do Sony.
Wait. Here's the ones that I know. Like I said before, Dark Horse, right? Mm-hmm. Image. Valiant. Just one more.
Are you trying to get sponsored by comic books?
No, these are just like comic books.
I'm being funny.
These are just companies that I know that have created. And not to say that Marvel and DC hasn't, but they've created original characters. You don't see them. Why in your opinion, why was the crossover made?
Because they're running out of ideas.
Why else?
Because are you referring to in the series on TV or the crossover in the comic?
I'm talking about the DC Marvel crossover in the comics. Why do you think that was done?
To make unpopular characters popular. Yeah, because in comics that weren't as popular, like Aquaman, for instance, they combined them with more popular comics or characters to put them up there. Because almost everybody I know has some shit to talk about Aquaman not being a real superhero. He's just a fish boy. Combine him with the Justice League, and he's elevated.
Okay, so from my point of view, I got a friend. Before I state this, I got a friend. I haven't seen him in a while. My dude owned. He was a comic book head for real. Owned over 5,000, right? The DC Marvel crossover.
Oh, DC Marvel. You just said the crossover. I wasn't sure what you were referring to.
The DC Marvel crossover in the comics. The What If. The DC Marvel. The novel that pits the heroes against each other. Why do you think that was done?
Legitimately, or my opinion?
Your opinion.
Sell more comics.
That's one.
It's been a lifelong dream of most comic fans to see the two go at it. Because we all want to know if Hyperion can beat Superman. That kind of stuff. There's whole YouTubes dedicated. You've watched them. One superhero versus another against their stats. Same thing with Dragon Ball Z.
So that's what the crossover bit was basically about. But it was more so to see whose character would really flourish in a battle. All right, I always go back to this one because it's the greatest example. The Flash versus Quicksilver. Now, Quicksilver in the movie, Quicksilver saved everybody in the X Mansion, right? Remember when the mansion was blowing up, he was sitting there, he was moving mad slow,
He
snatching dudes
saved
out,
everybody
stopping,
but one,
but one, right?
at least in the movie.
Now, when that movie came out, I don't know if you saw it, but a lot of people was up in the comics. I mean, up in the comments, like, sorry, Quicksilver, but Flash did it first. And he did. He did it on the series. We watched it when he ran up in that building that was on fire and saved everybody in there. He didn't miss one person. Now, when you go into that crossover, it pits, and it's not all the and here's the funny part: it's not all the characters of Marvel and DC. It's just certain ones.
Well, yeah.
It's just certain ones.
How
And
many speedsters do you need to see go up against Quicksilver?
but
You
here's the
only need
thing.
one.
But here's the thing. There's no real speedsters in Marvel.
Speedster is a relative term to anyone that's very fast.
But there's none in Marvel.
Of course not, other than Quicksilver.
And I mean, you've got dudes that can take off and move fast and whatnot, but none like what you see in
well,
DC.
here's the thing: speedsters in the DC world specifically relates to anyone that can tap into the Speed Force. But in a relative term, like I was saying, speedsters is just anyone really fast. So the speedsters of Marvel are basically people like Quicksilver, and the only competition would be the Flash for Quicksilver, because there's nobody else that I've seen in Marvel that's as fast. I mean, they can teleport, but that's not speed. That's
Okay, so
moving.
you got that right, and then you take a look at the battle, as you were saying before, when people were talking about Aquaman, so on and so forth, blah blah blah.
Well, yeah, but that
But
was me talking about crossing over of characters within DC Universe, because they were supposedly on different planes. When they crossed that over, it was making everybody, one person hop, make the other one popular. Because if I want to watch, just say, I'm a Superman fan,
mhm.
and I've never heard of Batman, the best
so
way to get Batman in my eyesight is to put Batman with Superman in an episode.
so you know the answer to this question then. Who would be Aquaman's equivalent in Marvel?
What's his name? We just had this conversation not too long ago. Um, shit. He's that prince of the underwater.
Submariner.
Yeah. He's the equivalent to Aquaman.
So now,
Though
who can you really?
people said he was equivalent to Aqualad, which is bullshit. But
Bullshit. It's
we're not gonna go there.
Aquaman. It's
Yeah.
Aquaman, not Aqualad. But that's neither here nor there. Um, when you do these crossovers and stuff like that, right? You have Aquaman, who is the king of Atlantis, right? But then you also have Prince Namor, who comes out of where? Atlantis.
Fair enough.
I think that whole scenario was just a way for them to showcase their characters and build money, right?
Well, of course.
It worked.
Hell yeah.
It worked because, and I'm not even talking about the money part. I'm just talking about showcasing your characters.
Well, I know what you meant.
Because you had a lot of people on the fence after that when it came towards their favorite DC and Marvel characters.
Yeah.
It ended up becoming real different.
The only funny thing is, since all the characters have such great similarities in powers, in abilities, that there's no determining a winner. Because honestly, that's a 50-50 game. Like, you and I are the same human being. You and I get into a fist fight. Today, I kick your ass. Tomorrow, you kick mine. Does that make you better than me or me better than you? It means at that fight, I did better. At
Well,
that fight, you did better. Because we're equals in that aspect. So the Submariner and Aquaman are equal. So if they get the shot in, then they win. But whoever gets it wins. It's not about he's better or he's better. Because one day, Aquaman will get it. One day, Submariner will get it. That's
well,
a
I don't know.
50-50 crapshoot.
Well, you can say that, but I'm gonna say this before we go back to the Batman and Thrasher. I'm gonna say this: Flash beat Quicksilver.
Remember, that one is all about the... I hate to use this terminology. It's all about the man holding the pen. Don't get me wrong. I'm more of a Flash fan myself as well than I am a Quicksilver, since they also didn't make a lot of things involving Quicksilver.
They did a lot with Quicksilver in the comics, which is why I respect Quicksilver.
No, not as much as they did Flash.
Yeah, he's got, Quicksilver has more comic time than on-screen time.
Definitely.
Flash has both.
Yeah.
He has both on-screen time and comic time.
On screen, on film, and in book, and in novel. He's got more. As a matter of fact, he's the reasoning behind the whole new DC outlook.
Mm-hmm.
DC got reversed because of him.
So
Flashpoint.
so now we head back to the beginning of this whole thing, which is originally
Batman's equivalent.
Batman's equivalent. So, in my personal opinion, even though there's other guys that have the similarities of Bruce, I think no more. I don't think that those fit the bill more
Than Thrasher.
than Night Thrasher. I think Night, even though he's got his own little quirks or whatever, I think that Night Thrasher comes the closest to being a quote unquote equivalent to Batman.
Certainly. He's the closest without having to take anything away.
Mm-hmm.
Minus the mask bottom part.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, come on, if you're going to play that game, not you, but if you're going to play that game, oh, he's got a mask on his chin. Get the fuck off my channel. If you're going to say he's got no ears, and that's going to be your evidence that they're nowhere near it, get the fuck off my channel. Mm-hmm. I don't care if you come see me. I don't care if you go write a book. But don't bother me. Now, if you're going to say any similarities that aren't cosmetic, then I'll listen and we can have this conversing. But if you're going to do cosmetic, I'll put freaking Superman in a tutu and tell me he's still not Superman.
Yeah, please, don't go cosmetic. Please, you got to come outside the box when you come. Don't do the cosmetic thing, because
it's nonsense.
It's not.
I mean, don't get me wrong. You can play with the cosmetics in the conversation, but that's not evidence to denounce a situation or seal one. That's more like, wow, they even had similar suits. That's an additive, a side bonus, a footnote.
Mm-hmm.
But if the Night Thrasher jacked off in the corner all night, but wore the same exact outfit as Batman, you're not going to equate him to Batman.
Mm-hmm.
But if he fought like Batman, talked like Batman in the sense of my family were killed by criminals and I'm going to get justice for their deaths, Batman. And he wore a pink fucking tutu, he's still Batman. Equivalent, because their storyline and history and thoughts and attributes are all the same. Except he decides, I can do it better in a tutu.
Mm-hmm.
Alright, fine, no. You can't do it in a fucking tutu. But my argument is still to the point that cosmetics doesn't make Batman Batman. It just makes him successful at being able to scare his adversaries, nothing more. Because if he wore a three-piece suit and a fucking ski mask, he would kick ass just the same.
Very true.
But the outfit, it instills fear at night. But shit, the bat is here. If you're in a three-piece suit, what are you going to say? The three-piece suit is here.
You know what? on the next round, right? We should take a look. We should take a look at the other characters between the JLA, right? Between the
Supreme.
JLA and the Squadron Supreme, we should look at the other characters
We
and
will.
run comparisons.
We'll run them back and forth. But I'm sorry. Nighthawk. Bang! He dead.
Yeah, gotta shoot him off the list
Because the closest person to Nighthawk is Dick Grayson as Nightwing. They got the same freaking name.
and that's what we go, and that's when we'll do the cosmetic.
Yeah, then we'll fuck with cosmetic. And he has similar backgrounds, except Dick wasn't self-abusive. He was just a spoiled little brat. But most rich kids, as children, are. Because when you got all the money in the world, you can do what you want with it. Anyone becomes spoiled.
Mm.
But we'll talk about that on another episode.
No doubt.
But we want your comments on what you think.
Please.
If you disagree with our pick, that Batman and Night Thrasher are they're equivalent to one another, Marvel versus DC. You agree? Let us know. You disagree? Show us someone better suited overall. Not, oh, look, he's got batarangs too. Overall, that suits a comparison to equivalents of Batman.
Yes.
And we'll hear you out. And if you show us, we'll throw out a comment letting you know that we saw, we heard. We even bring you on the show. You can tell your point yourself, or we'll tell it for you and concede that you convinced us by showing us the actual equivalent to Batman. Or, and I'll give you a bonus, the equivalent to the Night Thrasher if it's not Batman. We're not our only DC family. We're a DC and Marvel family. We're just picking the Justice League, so we're going one by one. So if you find a better Night Thrasher equivalent in DC, hey, we'll hear that out too. You find a better Batman in Marvel, we hear that out too.
Yes, we will.
As a matter of fact, we want you to. And if you agree with us, let us know.
Yes, please like, subscribe to the channel, leave a comment in the
We
box
appreciate
down
it.
below.
On that note, we love you and we hope you stay safe. And until the next episode, we will see you then. Peace.